5 years ago, it was considered a pariah state. But on Wednesday, Myanmar took a significant step on its path towards democracy, swearing in its first civilian leader in more than 50 years. Tin Jaw is a close ally of the leader of the National League for Democracy, Aung San Suu Kyi. And as Duncan Crawford reports, his presidency will have her stamp all over it.
Myanmar's new president, Tin Jaw, in the centre, next to the woman who chose him and who will tell him what to do. Aung San Suu Kyi has already made it clear she'll be the one making decisions in the capital Naypyidaw. She's barred from the presidency herself, but has picked her friend and confidant to be her proxy. Sworn into power in Parliament, he made it clear he'd push for more democratic change, but that's sure to be opposed by the generals.
I have a duty to amend this constitution so that it becomes a constitution that suits our country and matches democratic values.
At cafes across the country, people watched the momentous moment. After 6 decades of tough military rule, power has finally been handed over to a civilian.
I like the public president very like.
Why?
This is very freedom, very business.
While it's accepted that Aung San Suu Kyi will really hold the power, the new president will still have a big role to play. Tin Jaw will need to show he can tackle poverty and deal with ethnic tension and corruption. But perhaps most importantly, he'll need to manage his relationship with the military. No one here needs reminding of the military's influence. It was showing off its strength just a few days ago. Despite allowing democratic elections, the army automatically gets a quarter of seats in Parliament, enough to block constitutional change. Any push to weaken the military will likely be resisted. Which is why, although it's a day of great change, it also likely signals the start of delicate negotiations. Myanmar's path to democracy has only happened with the general's consent. Tin Jaw will be celebrating, so too Aung San Suu Kyi, but they also need to be careful.
Well, Duncan Crawford joins us now from Yangon. So, Duncan, tell us a bit more about the new president.
Well, it's quite a change, isn't it, from 6 decades of generals and guns. Tin Jaw, widely unknown up until a few months ago, a former academic and close friend and trusted aide of Aung San Suu Kyi, who he helped in all her years of detention, but really he wasn't widely known, and today what a change it is. You go out onto the streets of Yangon, you meet people, they all know who he is. There are t-shirts being made with his name on, other merchandising as well. So really a huge change for him personally, and very interesting. On his first day, after having handed power to him, he made a statement where he talked about the need for the constitution to be changed. Now, that is the military written constitution from 2008, which enshrines the military's role into politics. The military, for example, they automatically get a quarter of seats in Parliament. They get automatically the 3 main security ministries in the government: Defence, Home Affairs and Border Control. And just a few days ago, one of the senior generals was saying that the military would still be extremely active in politics and warned against what he described as chaotic democracy. So the military has already indicated it plans to, be heavily involved in the political process still, but Tin Jaw, perhaps feeling emboldened on his first day, making it clear that he's going to seek constitutional changes.
And Duncan, you've mentioned some of them there. Take us through some of the other challenges the new president faces, and will he be able to deal with them?
Yeah, there are a lot of other challenges which he is going to face. Away from the military, you have seen a lot of changes already over the last few years, ever since the ending of international sanctions. So the country has opened up, there is a freer media, but first and foremost, his priority is going to be to try to bring an end to the conflicts with rebel groups. There are more than a dozen rebel groups which have been in conflict with the military over the last few decades, and even though the previous administration tried to offer them amnesty deals, not all of them accepted it. So trying to get an end to the conflicts with the various rebel groups is a huge challenge, and one which he has said is a priority. Also trying to improve the economy, which has expanded greatly over the last few years with a huge influx of foreign investment, but it hasn't really trickled down to the poorest in society. So that's another priority for the new government coming in. And also, Tinjor did speak about it, the need to deal with ethnic tensions, which particularly in Rakhine State, which was in the northwest of Myanmar, there has been this conflict with Rohingya Muslims. They're a minority which have been persecuted for many, many years. Many have been forced from their homes. They don't have voting rights, for example. So that is something he may well look at, but it doesn't seem to be a priority at this stage.
Well, Duncan Crawford in Yangon, thank you.